The Chernobyl nuclear disaster had global repercussions and revealed just how dangerous radiation can be. Many people lost their lives or suffered from exposure. Thousands of families were forced to flee, leaving behind their homes and possessions. The incident became a dark chapter in human history. Let's now take a closer look at what actually happened. In the mid-20th century, humanity discovered a new form of energy: atomic fission. It was a groundbreaking scientific breakthrough. A nuclear chain reaction could generate more electricity than gas, oil, and coal combined. This discovery sparked the global construction of nuclear power plants. The Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant was built about 20 kilometers from the Ukrainian city of Chernobyl, hence the name. A new city named Pripyat was established nearby to house the plant's workers. Before the disaster, Pripyat had a population of roughly 50,000 people. On the night of April 26, 1986, the plant's fourth reactor exploded. Part of the building collapsed, a fire broke out, and massive amounts of radioactive materials were released into the environment. Once it was clear that radiation posed a threat to the population, an exclusion zone of 30 kilometers was established around the plant. Residents were ordered to evacuate. However, the evacuation of Pripyat began only 36 hours after the explosion. People were transported by buses, carrying only essentials, and were told they would soon return. In total, around 115,000 individuals were evacuated from nearby settlements. Meanwhile, radioactive particles were carried by wind across Ukraine, Belarus, Western Russia, and into parts of Europe. 3 days later, Sweden detected a sharp rise in radiation levels and began searching for the source. Only then did the Soviet Union issue an official statement. According to former General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev, the delay was due to authorities not having a full understanding of the situation and fearing public panic. Radiation comes from unstable atoms that release alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays from their nuclei. These radioactive elements can destroy human cells at a microscopic level. The particles can enter the body through air, food, and water, or pass through the skin. Gamma radiation can penetrate even walls. Small doses of radiation are harmless, but higher levels may lead to diseases or long-term health problems. A large dose can cause radiation sickness or even death. After the explosion, fires broke out on the reactor's roof and inside the building. The blaze was fought by plant workers and firefighters, many of whom received lethal doses of radiation. 28 people died within 3 months. Once the fire was contained, helicopters dropped sand, boric acid, and lead into the damaged reactor to suppress radiation. Inside, the burning graphite, uranium, and fuel rods had melted together, forming a radioactive lava-like substance. This lava was so hot that it melted the concrete floor and threatened to reach water reservoirs below, which could have caused another massive explosion. Fortunately, the water was drained in time. Still, the lava continued downward. To prevent it from contaminating groundwater, a tunnel was dug beneath the reactor and filled with concrete to act as a buffer. Yet the main problem persisted. The ruined reactor was still emitting extreme radiation. Radioactive isotopes were rising into the atmosphere and spreading globally. A decision was made to construct a steel and concrete sarcophagus over the reactor. Work had to be done under intense conditions. Equipment failed, and humans could only remain in the area for 40 seconds at a time. Thousands of workers rotated shifts to complete the task. During the process, a Mi-8 helicopter clipped a crane cable and crashed, killing 4 crew members. Despite these challenges, the sarcophagus was completed in under 6 months, significantly reducing radiation levels. The benefit of nuclear plants lies in their energy efficiency. Small amounts of fuel produce vast amounts of electricity. The core of a nuclear plant is its reactor, filled with uranium dioxide fuel pellets. Inside, uranium atoms split in a chain reaction, releasing heat. This heat turns water into steam, which spins turbines connected to generators, producing electricity.
Control rods are used to manage the nuclear reaction. Lowering them slows the reaction, reducing power. Raising them increases power. It's the staff's job to maintain this balance. In 1986, a test was planned at the Chernobyl plant to study turbine shutdown performance. Scientists wanted to see if the turbine of the fourth reactor could provide enough power for 40 seconds to run cooling pumps after a blackout, until backup generators came online. The test began at a much lower power level than intended. Only 200 megawatts instead of 700 to 1,000. This unstable condition meant the reactor was barely running, so most control rods were fully withdrawn to prevent it from shutting down. The emergency cooling system had also been disabled. Eventually, heat levels started to rise, steam increased, and pressure built up. When the operator triggered the emergency shutdown, the rods began to lower but got stuck halfway. This was later attributed to heat-induced deformation of the channels. The reactor's power surged uncontrollably, and within seconds, 2 explosions destroyed it completely. 6 people were blamed: the plant's director, chief engineer and deputy, shift supervisor, reactor hall manager, and a nuclear inspector. Deputy Chief Engineer Anatoly Dyatlov, who oversaw the test, argued that design flaws were to blame and the safety system caused the explosion. However, the prosecution cited operational errors, and the USSR Supreme Court concluded that the reactor was safe when used correctly. The 3 top officials were sentenced to 10 years in prison. The others received 2 to 5 years. Most served only part of their terms before being released. After the Soviet Union dissolved, international experts confirmed that the RBMK-1000 reactor had design flaws unknown to the operators. Notably, the control rods initially increased power before reducing it under certain conditions. While not the root cause, this was the final trigger in a chain of events. Experts concluded that the RBMK-1000 design failed to meet nuclear safety standards. A 1992 IAEA report cited design flaws, human error, and poor safety culture as the main causes. A later review showed that many accusations against Chernobyl staff were unfounded. Most procedures at the time were followed correctly. All RBMK-1000 reactors were later modified for safety. The Chernobyl disaster remains one of the worst in nuclear history. An estimated 200,000 square kilometers were contaminated. Affected regions included Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Europe. The World Health Organization estimates that around 4,000 people died due to Chernobyl radiation, though other sources claim tens or hundreds of thousands. The long-term effects remain a subject of debate. Radiation-related diseases include thyroid cancer, tumors, leukemia, tuberculosis, cataracts, and more. There's no conclusive evidence of increased birth defects. Environmentally, vast areas around the plant became unusable for agriculture due to radioactive isotopes in soil and plants. Ironically, many animal species now thrive there: bears, foxes, wolves, boars, lynxes, none showing signs of mutation. Radiation levels in Pripyat and nearby areas have decreased, but it may remain unsafe for centuries or longer. Still, some self-settlers have returned to live in the exclusion zone. Pripyat has become a popular destination for tourists, drawn by documentaries and films. Visitors carry Geiger counters, and illegal explorers are known as stalkers. Equipment used in the cleanup was heavily irradiated and gathered in one location, though that site has since vanished. It's believed the machinery was dismantled. The remaining 3 reactors at the Chernobyl plant operated until December 15, 2000, when the facility was fully shut down.
The original sarcophagus deteriorated over time and was replaced with a new structure designed to last 100 years. Chernobyl served as a powerful reminder of radiation's dangers and influenced global disarmament efforts, highlighting the catastrophic potential of nuclear weapons. Lessons were learned to improve nuclear safety, and the search for alternative energy sources continues. Chernobyl is a painful lesson paid in human lives, a mistake that must never be repeated.